Welcome to another episode of the Epic Family Road Trip.
In this week's episode of the Epic Family Road Trip, we continue on our overland journey to the northernmost road in Ontario, Canada, and to the town of Pickle Lake to explore Ontario's last frontier, 1,700 kilometers from our cabin to the end of the road.
Driving this section north of Superior, just before you get to Thunder Bay, we highly recommend you stop in and take a look at the Terry Fox Monument and just read some of the quotes. And he was a very courageous young man who got cancer and lost his leg to it, and then decided to run across Canada to raise awareness for the disease. And he started way on the East Coast, and he made it all the way here to almost to the Manitoba border, and then he finally succumbed to the disease and died. But what an amazing guy. He raised millions and millions of dollars for research, and he's a real Canadian hero. If he had got into Manitoba and then a little ways past Winnipeg, he would have hit or maybe this side of Winnipeg, he would have hit the continental dead center of the country. So he almost made it halfway. But yeah, that's Terry Fox. I remember back when I was in school hearing about Terry Fox, and he started to gain notoriety as he went, got more and more press and information. By the time he got to where we live, schools were going out to cheer him on as he ran by. So he's from BC originally, Port Coquitlam, BC, and he lost his right leg to the disease. After dipping his foot in the Atlantic, he began his epic journey in St. John's, Newfoundland on April 12, 1980, running 26 miles a day. Can you imagine, with one leg? This outstanding young athlete has conquered 5 provinces by the time he had reached Ontario in June. Then at mile number 3,339, near this very site, cancer came back and he was forced to give up his run. Unbelievable story. So this is what they call the Arctic watershed, and from here all the rivers flow north to the Arctic Ocean.
What do you see, Linda? What do you see?
We're at a place called Sandbar Lake Provincial Park, and it's just beautiful and remote. We're really getting into northern Ontario. We've now driven off of the Trans-Canada and gone north 11 kilometers on the road that leads to Pickle Lake, which is called the end of the road, Ontario's last frontier. We'll be getting up there tomorrow. So it's Monday, July 13th. We are just a little ways into the road that leads to a town called Pickle Lake. It's called Ontario's Last Frontier, the end of the road. Today we're looking forward to getting up there. It's about three and a half hours drive from here. And then that'll be the farthest part of Ontario that you can drive to on a paved road. But we're gonna go beyond that into the forest and just start heading up as far north as we can, I guess. There's no services up there, no fuel. So we're gonna fill up all of our tanks, including our Long Range America auxiliary tanks, and then we'll drive until we're about half empty, and then that'll be as far as we go. We'll turn around and come back. So that's the plan, and we're going to take you with us.
So we just passed the sign that we are now in Pickle Lake. There's still nothing up ahead but trees, but I guess within the next 10 minutes or so we should be coming into the little town there.
Hey guys, so today we drove all the way up to the end of the road. This is called Pickle Lake, Ontario. The road continues on for a little bit north, and then it turns into dirt road and so on, and that's where we plan on going tomorrow. But we're right on the edge of Pickle Lake, as you can see in the background here, and the village is over there, and this is just a little area they carved out where you can park and camp for free. There's electricity and a fire pit. So a little bit about this town. There's very friendly people. There's a little airport and M&R, which is Ministry of Natural Resources, firefighting training center up here. So we're in good hands if a fire breaks out, which isn't likely. There's also an OPP training center here, and that's the Ontario Provincial Police. And we met with 3 constables already. So they kind of do a drive-by this area every once in a while, and we talked to 2 young constables, actually originally from our neck of the woods down in Barrie, but really nice guys, and they gave us their number and all kinds of contact information for when we get way off the grid tomorrow, and they gave us lots of information about the area and about this spot. And then just a few minutes ago, another constable, the second shift, came by and said hi, and wanted to make sure we're comfortable, and offered us fresh water fill up at the OPP station, and also a place to put our little bag of trash. So man, so far so good, amazing experience. So we're really enjoying this place already, and we just got here. With this being the most northerly town in Ontario, people fly in. There's a little airport there, and then they get on a float plane like this. So there's a gentleman here that has been here his whole life. He bought that plane when he's a young man and paid it off after all these years, and now he's got a nice little business. And what he does is folks will come in, mostly from the States, that want to fish in these great Ontario waters. There's all kinds of lakes around here, but they're completely fly-in only. There's no roads. You can't drive out there. You can in the winter, but then you can't fish. So that gives him a nice little business. And tomorrow we're gonna go into town and talk to the people at the municipal office. The reason we're here in Pickle Lake is because one of our YouTube viewers saw that we were heading back across Ontario, and they said, hey guys, you gotta come to Pickle Lake. It's the end of the road, it's the frontier. And we took them up on it. We've never met them before, and so we said, look, let's just go to Pickle Lake. It'd be fun to go into such a remote place. And so we got set up in our camp over there, and then a blue Jeep drove up, and it was the people that had given us that message, the people that invited us here. I was going to reach out to them anyway, but they showed up, and we had so much fun meeting them and talking to them. And she called her husband, and he came over, and we just had a blast. Such nice people, so welcoming and so friendly, and that's really what the North is about. This is a place in the middle of the forest, in the middle of the wilderness. There's like almost nothing like it on earth, where you can't, she said to go, if she wanted to go grocery shopping at Walmart, the nearest Walmart is 4.5 hours drive. So pretty cool. And her husband works with the airline here, and they fly groceries into these remote First Nations reservations, which are way up north in Ontario. And they're so far up that there's not even roads that get up to them except in the winter, and are only accessible when the lakes and the bogs and the marshes freeze. So our plan tomorrow is to go start heading north of here. This being the last town, you can still drive on pavement for another 60 kilometers, I think, and then you get into gravel. Apparently the road just ends at a lake. Now you could go beyond that normally, but there's a First Nations reservation, and it's all shut down. They're not allowing anyone in or out right now. So we're gonna go as far as we can and find some awesome campgrounds. We're gonna take you with us. Were you the guys that told us to come up here?
Yes!
I was gonna try to find you guys on.
Holy crap, this is amazing!
We took your advice.
Thank you so much!
I was gonna reach out to you guys,
Oh
but
my
you found us.
God.
It's so cool.
I have to call my husband really quick because he's been
Who knows, if you guys are in BC and we're at the same time, we'll stay in touch.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
absolutely.
Thank you guys
Thanks,
so
guys.
much.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
So, me
Check
and my
this out.
husband, we make our own fishing jigs.
Oh.
So, like, yeah, like lures, you don't smile, eh? So,
Cool.
we put some lures in there for you guys, and then we also roast coffee. So,
Oh, wow.
there's like 3 of our blends of coffee in there, and
That
then
is
there's
so
some
cool.
Wow.
patches
That is so
and
cool.
stickers and stuff. So,
Thank
no
Wow.
problem.
That's huge.
Fine Pickle. Okay, so yeah, Monaco Lake is on there. So Pipestone River, we're down. like, under here.
of the map.
So yeah, Wendigo is all the way up. Wendigo's not even on this map because it's so far up, but Ornament's there, but that's like a First Nation. You got a Kingfisher. These are all First Nation communities that are flying in the winter.
Get in there, Dan.
Which way is his head turning?
That way.
That way?
Yeah. Other way, Ma.
So we're fueling up before we hit the big trail, the big road going north. This is obviously the last place you can fuel up, so keep that in mind when you come up here. And if you don't have auxiliary tanks, make sure you carry some jerry cans just so you have enough fuel to get back.
Randall, you ready to go? Yeah?
So we're just about to head north, and both the indicators on both Jeeps said oil change required, and so we stopped in here at, I think it's called North Motors, and they were kind enough to take our Jeeps right in, and they're doing an oil change on Worsley right now. Vandy's next, and then we're gonna head north.
Alright, so we've officially set off on our trail to the end of the road. The old end of the road ended just outside of town there, so we've technically passed it, but a couple of years ago they paved another 60 kilometers of road further north, but then it ends again into where we're headed, but this used to be just solid dirt road all through here. But it's kind of nice, a brand new road on here. And we passed the first Bailey Bridge. Said they're all wooden bridges before, but last year they got them to be aluminum or metal. We look forward to getting off the road onto some gravel, and you can go for like 260 kilometers on just dirt, nowhere and nobody up there.
Hey guys, it's July 14th and we have gone way north of Pickle Lake now. So we're way up here somewhere on this beautiful river. And on the GPS I can't see the name of the river, but I will pinpoint this location for sure. And the nice thing about this is we got out of the bush and the wind off the river here is blowing away a lot of the bugs, so we actually can sit fairly comfortably outside. So we're really enjoying our time here so far, and we're gonna go make some food before the sun goes down. It's 3 o'clock in the morning and it looks like the sun's coming up. I'm not sure why. It must be because we're so far north.
This morning's coffee was brought to you by Jamie and Spencer Hussey.
From Pickle Lake. They gave us a light blend, a medium roast, and a dark. And they sell this online. It is delicious coffee.
We had the camp roast.
The one we had this morning was called the Mysterious Moose. Anyway, delicious whole bean coffee. So we ground up some really delicious cups this morning. They also make jigs and hooks. So their company's called Hussey's Hooks. And they gave us some samples. We can't wait to sink these in the lake when we get back home. So today is a big day. We are now leaving from this gorgeous camp spot, which we've marked on Gaia GPS for our Patreon family, and then we're gonna turn left and go right to the end of the road. This is the farthest north. That'll be the farthest north you can drive on a dirt road in Ontario. So we're pretty excited about getting up there. It's a long ways up.
Oh, look at the jump.
is a beautiful forest we're driving through right now. It's called a boreal forest. Where we came from, we have a mixed boreal forest, which is a little bit different. But up here, it's just a mix of like carnivorous and deciduous trees.
Stay tuned for next week's episode as we continue up to the end of the road as we explore the wilderness of Ontario's last frontier.
And in the meantime, we'll see you down the road.